Hello everyone, my name is Isaac Taylor, and 2018 has been an interesting year for music. I've listened to a combined total of 23 albums so far, which is pretty good, and most of them I've actually liked. For the most part, I've rated them 6 out of 10 or above on Rate Your Music, which is my main place I have put music at for a while. So today we're going to look through my January to April 2018 album roundup. So these are just all the albums I've listened to and what I thought about them and how I rated them. So the first album I listened to this whole year was Post by Jeff Rosenstock. Jeff Rosenstock is a power pop indie rock artist that was first known through Bomb the Music Industry, which I haven't listened to anything by, but from everything I've heard is a very, very good emo indie rock band. Now, Post I originally liked way more when it first came out, mainly because it was a surprise drop, and I was already a fan of his through Worry. This was actually released on New Year's Day, so basically 2 hours after New Year's, I already congested this album and listened to it. And the only thing, there's a few really missed duds on this album. First off, the track Powerlessness is one of the worst Jeff Rosenstock tracks of all time. Beating My Head Against the Wall is just not all that good lyrically, while the instrumentation I really enjoy. It doesn't have much past that in terms of lyrics. USA is a really good first song. It was just really enjoyable and I go back to it a lot. But definitely not my favorite song on the album. Your Throat is actually one of my favorites from the album. It's a very fun and very cathartic, thumping song. All This Useless Energy is a pretty good song. I don't come back to it a lot. Powerlessness is definitely my least favorite song in Jeff Rosenstock's just whole discography. It's this weird cowpunk, country punk song that I don't really understand why it even had to be on the album. It made no sense. 9 out of 10 and Let Them Win is definitely my two favorite songs on the album. They are both very nice. 9 out of 10 has this awesome synth loop that goes through it, and it's just really nice. I love the lyrics, and Let Them Win has this punch to it that's so energetic that I come back to it a lot. Anyways, I gave Post an 8 out of 10. It was really good, but there were some tracks that really messed it up. Next I listened to was Sovereign Nose of Your Ignorant Face by Scallops Hotel, which the only reason I listened to this was because I had just listened to Post and I was on it, and I had this Post album energy that I wanted to keep listening to new things, and this was also released January 1st. It's abstract hip-hop, which even though I am a fan of hip-hop, abstract and conscious hip-hop never have good beats enough for me to keep on coming back to them. There's not much I actually remember about this album. It was mostly uneventful and very boring. I never came back to it after listening to it for that first time, except maybe the song Sedans, which ended up being my favorite track on the album. So yeah, I don't remember much. It's very uneventful. But also, I gave Milo's So the Flies Don't Come a 6 out of 10. I do not enjoy Milo's music all that much. But yeah, I gave Sovereign Nose of Your Arrogant Face a 5 out of 10. Favorite track was Sedans, and my least favorite track was Bought My Kid a High Chair. The next album I listened to was Mother by Exloris White. I do not know about Exloris White. I know they are a Greek avant-garde folk band, which I am a fan of avant-garde music, but this album did not catch me at all. There were a few tracks where I was like, okay, this is pretty cool, but all around the album was super uneventful, and nothing kept me coming back to it after listening to it for that first time, except the song In Media Res, which I believe is the album opener. Yes, the album opener. Anyways, I gave that album a 6 out of 10. My favorite tracks was In Media Res, Motorcycle, Condyles, Call and Response. My least favorite track was Achilles Heel. My next album I listened to is Veteran by JPEGMafia. So far, this is one of my favorites of the year. I keep on coming back to this album so much. This is very almost Death Grips-like, but in its own way. It's way more glitchy and sample driven than Death Grip stuff, and JPEGMafia is one of the best rappers in the game right now. I love the industrial beats that are throughout this album. This album was just so amazing, and it's such a good driving album. If you've ever driven to super loud, weird hip-hop music like Death Grips, you'll definitely enjoy this album. Anyways, I give it an 8.5 out of 10. My favorite tracks were Thug, Tears, Baby I'm Bleeding, Libtard, Anthem, and I Cannot Fucking Wait Until Morrissey Dies. My least favorite track was Damn. Next album I'll listen to is Mania by Fall Out Boy. The only reason I listen to this is because I have a lot of friends that are into Fall Out Boy, and I wanted my opinion on the album, and I hated it. This was so far one of my least favorite albums of the year. Nothing on this album was good, really. There was a few good tracks, like Wilson, which had a really nice bass line that kept it going, but other than that, very boring and really bad electropop. There's so much better electropop and pop rock than this, and people who listen to this album a lot, I just don't understand. I give this a 4 out of 10. My favorite tracks are Wilson, Expensive Mistakes, and Heaven's Gate, and my least favorite track was Young and Menace. Next album I listened to was Pulse Quartet by International Contemporary Ensemble and Colin Curry Group, composed by Steve Reich. I don't listen to a lot of modern classical. I mostly play modern classical. I play French horn, which is where I listen to most classical music, as if it's very French horn driven. Other than that, I don't listen to it much, but this album was very good. It had very good players. The entire band was on their A game making this album. And all around, I completely recommend it for any modern classical fan and minimalist fan. I gave it an 8 out of 10. My favorite tracks was Pulse, Quartet 1, Fast. My least favorite track was Quartet 2, Slow. Next up is Amen by Rich Brian, previously Rich Chigga. I've never really liked Rich Brian. There wasn't really a lot that I liked. A lot of the trap, cloudy, SoundCloud rap, I don't really care for all that much, just because it's not interesting. It's all the same, but when I first heard the intro, Amen, I really loved it. This is actually a song that I come back to a lot and one of my favorites of the year so far, but the entire album as a whole is really just not that eventful. I don't care for it all that much, and for pop rap and trap rap, there's definitely better out there. I gave this a 6 out of 10. My favorite tracks were Amen, Attention, Chaos, and Arizona. My least favorite track was Flight. Next up is Cranberry by Howdy, which is spelled with 2 V's, because it's an indie folk band, lo-fi indie. I don't know much about this album, but I heard the song Pedal just going around Spotify and my Discover Weekly, which made me super excited for the album. When the album came out, altogether, it was all kind of the same. I had heard better in previous years, and hopefully better this year in folk music, because so far folk music has been one of the most boring in years, and nothing really happens in it. I just do not like folk music in 2018. There's nothing coming out that piques my interest at all. Anyways, I gave Cranberry by Howdy a 6 out of 10. The only songs I truly liked and came back to was Pedal, but the other tracks I really liked were Through, Cranberry, and Swing, and my least favorite track was Colorful. Next up is Mom Jeans on Audio Tree Live by Mom Jeans. I'm such a big fan of Mom Jeans. I think they are the most interesting thing in emo music right now, and I'm just such a big fan. I have Best Buds on vinyl. I love this album so much. I give this album a 10 out of 10. It's my favorite album in 2016, and probably my third favorite album of all time. It's such an influential album on my playing style for music in general, and I love the color of this record. Also, it's this beautiful purple black. I really love this album. But hearing these songs in a live setting, it's really good. They also debuted a new song that I'm not too happy with. In all honesty, I just hope the newest album that's coming out this summer is just better in general. This album, the live songs were really well done. It's Mom Jeans Live. It's just these songs in a live setting, and they use actual horn instruments that they play live, and it's really good. The trumpet and the trombone sounds amazing. Their tone is great. and all around the album for emo music is just interesting. I love Best Buds by Mom Jeans a lot, and this live album is gonna be one of my favorites of the year, but I give it an 8 out of 10. My favorite songs were Shred Cruz, Edward 40 Hands, Vape Nation, and Scott Pilgrim versus My GPA. And my least favorite track is Poor Boxer Shorts, which is probably my least favorite song on the actual album, or that and Girl Scout Cookies. Next time I listened to was the remake of Twin Fantasy by Car Seat Headrest. I am a big fan of Car Seat Headrest. Their albums are so good, and I love coming back to them. There's so much angst to them that I absolutely love them. They're so good in the indie rock scene. And some of my favorite lyrics actually pop up on Twin Fantasy, but the original lo-fi recording is a little too lo-fi for my taste. I still really like it, but it's just not all there. But this re-release is amazing. There's so much good to it. There's, again, some of the best indie rock riffs that are just better. There's also some synth pop influence on this, which I really didn't expect and enjoyed. Almost like New Order, and I love it. My favorite tracks are Sober to Death, Nervous Young Inhumans, Bodies, Cute Thing, High to Death, Famous Prophets, Stars, and Twin Fantasy. Those boys. My least favorite track is Stop Smoking, We Love You, just because the lyrics aren't all there. I'm also adding EPs to this, so the next thing I listened to was Tote EP or TOT EP, like Kira Kira Bonito. When Only Acting came out, it's probably going to be in my top 10 favorite songs of the year. I love that track so much. I come back to it almost daily. It's one of my most listened to tracks of just the entire year, more than likely, so far. I love that song, but then the album came out, and all my expectations were ruined because every other song just was not there. It all sounded like the fake beginning of Only Acting. My favorite tracks were The One True Path on Only Acting, and my least favorite track was Cinema. The next thing I listened to was All at Once by Screaming Females. Female-driven hard rock, there's female-driven rock in general seems like to be coming back in 2018. There's so much good this year. And this is one of my favorites so far of the year. For a really good garage rock, hard rock band to actually make something super interesting, I love it. Every single song on this has this great vocal delivery, and the guitar, bass, and drums are also excellent. I love every song on this almost, except a few things here and there goes on for too long or something like that. My favorite tracks are Black Moon, I'll Make You Sorry, Agnes Martin, Deeply, Chamber Sleep Part 1 and Part 2, Bird in Space, and Step Outside. My least favorite track is Drop by Drop. The next thing I listened to was Superorganism, self-titled. This album disappointed me. That's a running theme so far, it seems, even though at the beginning I said this has been a really good year for music.
2018 has been an interesting year for music.
But what's really good has really shined and kept me going for the year in music. Glitch Pop and Neo Psychedelia, which one of my favorite bands of all time is the Flaming Lips, and Animal Collective. This is not good enough to be remembered, in my opinion, except for maybe the song Everybody Wants to Be Famous and Something for Your Mind, which are the singles. The singles off this album are 10 out of 10, which made me super excited. I listened to them so much. They're scrobbled so many times on my Spotify. And then the album just did not live up to the standards of these singles. They put out their best singles, and well, the album just isn't as good as the singles. Most of the tracks are this weird trap-inspired glitch pop sound, which could work, but it just doesn't in this. I gave it a 6 out of 10, and my favorite tracks are It's All Good, Everybody Wants to Be Famous, Something for Your Mind, and Relax. Least favorite track is Reflections on the Screen. I'm going to go into a part 2 later. This is actually taking way longer than I expected. So this is the end of part 1. We'll come back with You're Not Alone by Andrew WK. So thank you everyone, and my Rate Your Music's going to be down below. My Last FM is going to be down below, so you can keep on looking at what I like.